Hey everybody, Kara CrossFit Brindle. Welcome back to another video here in 2024. Familiar face, we have Ashley with us again. Ashley, thanks for joining me again on this channel.
Of course, my
Ashley,
pleasure.
yeah, Ashley is a professional that all of you should want to know and work with because she's got some great ideas. So this video is all about tax preparation because here we are at the beginning of 2024. All of these folks are therapists. So Ashley has at least three big ideas that you should all be thinking about for the therapists on our channel. Where should we start, Ashley, when you think about these ideas for tax prep?
I kind of think the most fun one is really sort of understanding your deductions. I personally think that's fun anyway. But I would say some of the most popular deductions that you want to think about would be your office expenses, and that would include your rent. So keep in mind that that is a deduction, as well as if instead of renting an office, you are actually using your home office. That's
Mm,
also a deduction. So depending on what you're doing with that, you can deduct that. The other thing would be furniture and equipment. So if you have headphones or I don't know the actual technical term, but the EMD light bar or
yeah.
the sensors, those are all deductible. Any supplies. So if you're doing like play therapy and you have games or puzzles, things like that, Office Depot, any of those. Any professional or development continuing education,
Mhm.
any of your licenses, your insurance premium. I highly encourage, if you haven't already, get business insurance.
Mm.
It's not a when, it's not an if, it's a when you run into that, you're gonna want to be covered. So get business insurance. The other thing I would say is your marketing and your advertising. So if you are marketing on LinkedIn or Psychology Today, those are deductions. Your travel expenses. So if you are traveling to schools to meet clients there, yeah, keep track of your mileage. You can definitely
Mhm.
deduct that. Your software and your technology, whether you have QuickBooks, FreshBooks, or Simple Practice, and then your telehealth expenses. So if you see patients virtually, you can deduct your internet and yeah, and then professional services. I'm deductible. So keep that in mind.
I love that. Yeah, like a lot of people just to even like have this nice list, working list of, oh, all these things count towards the business. I usually conceptualize them as expenses anyway, but I think there's like a nice mental shift that happens where like these are deductions. Like it's not just an expense, but those, but like this is actually
Yes.
going to serve me as a business owner in some way.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. So it helps. I mean, every little bit helps when you're trying to get there towards the end of the year and really sort of understand your profit.
Absolutely. So, viewers, Ashley has obviously a great list of ideas here, and I'm sure there's even more that we didn't get to yet. So, just know that this is a list that you can work with, add to, consult with Ashley or someone like her if you don't already have a professional. Ashley's taking clients, so there's probably a lot more to discuss there based on people's unique businesses. But I love the broad strokes of like if you're doing telehealth, this, furniture, rent, all those things. Love it. So
hmm
that's kind of big concept number one. What would you say number two would be?
1099. I think 1099s, a lot of people who are starting out or have perhaps been in practice for a couple of years, they might have hired a virtual assistant, or they might have hired a cleaner, something along those lines. And they're wondering, first off, what is a 1099? And that would be a contract payment. So if you are paying a contractor, you need to send a 1099 to the IRS no later than January 31st of each and every single year. So, what goes into a 1099? Well, first and foremost, you need to make sure, are you paying have you paid that person a total of $600 or more in the following tax or the preceding tax year? And then did you pay them via check or from your bank account or via credit card? And if you paid them from your bank account, then you are most likely going to need to issue them a 1099.
Mhm.
The easiest way to go about doing that is to collect a W-9, which is a really quick form that they can just they can just go ahead and fill out, give it back to you. You can input all of that information into QuickBooks, and then you can go ahead and walk through, and QuickBooks will send all of that to the IRS, to your contractor as well, and it's super quick and super easy to do.
Yeah. So the major emphasis here is like someone that you're paying $600 or more in that time frame that year, but also there's this deadline of January 31st that people need to be aware of. And that's really intentional, right? Of like people need to have that document for their own tax filings. Like we need to help our contractors out by like getting that done quickly. Would you
Yes.
agree?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, if you've worked with someone and you've paid them, you certainly don't want to leave them in the lurch, so to speak, because of your own negligence. And chances are they might not want to work with you in the future if you're unable to get that together. So, yes, definitely want to, make sure you have that all set.
Yeah. So for our viewers who have secondary income streams where you're working with folks that aren't even therapist contractors, but like folks like a developer, software, something like that, consultants, like some of these things would apply as well. I'm seeing you nod. So
Yes, yes, absolutely. Anyone that you have paid more than $600 and out of your bank account, yes, the IRS wants to know what was that for? Who did that?
mhm.
Yeah, they want to know and why you they didn't get the documentation. So yes, they
Yeah.
will be asking questions.
But get on it. Don't make yourself, on IRS's short list of like someone they want to pay attention to. Like we want to
Mhm.
coast under the radar, follow
Yes.
the rules, folks. What would be concept number three, Ashley, if it's on your mind?
I would say, if you are, let's say, for instance, you've decided that you are going to DIY your taxes. You're going to use
Mm,
the TurboTax. You don't want to go ahead and use a CPA. First thing that I would want to ask you is why. And the second thing is if that is a route that you want to take and you haven't been diligently putting your tax inform or your expenses into a QuickBooks or a FreshBooks or some sort of accounting software, there's no time like the present.
mm,
And the first step would be to gather all of your bank statements and your receipts and to make sure that you are cataloging each and every single one of those expenses so you can maximize your deductions at the end of the year. I would say certainly take a look. See, did you remember? Did you hire someone in January of 2023 to help you to build your website? Did it cost $600 or more? You're probably going to need a 1099 then. And then the
mm.
third thing out of all of that is I would say file on time because you don't want to get a penalty from the IRS. There is nothing more shocking than opening up your mailbox and seeing Internal Revenue Service as the return logo on that letter. So don't do it. File everything on time.
Yeah. So I'm hearing that's part of why you're championing. Please use a professional if it's within your, capacity and if you've saved for that expense.
Mhm.
Plus, it's all part of the business, right? Of like, this is something we
Exactly.
need. Professional supports and like let's do it timely. Let's make sure we get everything figured out, including those deductions you mentioned in today's video. This all comes together beautifully of like a professional can help with all the things you've named. Is that
Hmm.
right?
Yes, absolutely. Yes, for sure.
Yeah, I just as soon as you talked about the IRS logo, like in the mailbox, like a lot of us now have like the hey, your mail's coming tomorrow, and here's what's coming in it. And even when you see this like image of your mail and it has IRS on it, you're like, huh. So I felt that when you said that. I'm like, you don't know what that's going to be. That better be not bad news, but it could be if you're not following these rules.
Exactly. Yeah, you get that pit in your stomach when you see that, and you're it's like, oh no. Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, what is this? Fair enough. Well, for folks who haven't seen you in our previous video, do you want to share a little bit about who you are and what you do for anyone who's jumping in at this video of wanting to know more?
Yes, absolutely. So I am Ashley from Bravo Bookkeeper. I do bookkeeping for therapists and e-commerce clients. I have such a love for mental health professionals. I am married to one. My mother-in-law is one. My sister-in-law is one. So they have a special place in my heart, and I am always happy to help in any way that I can for them.
Amazing. Yes, I'm so glad we connected and are able to create these videos for therapists together. You're a wealth of knowledge, and I will happily make sure that your contact info is below the video for anyone who's like, okay, this stirred up some questions. I have more questions for Ashley.
Yes,
So
absolutely. Reach out.
perfect. Well, I appreciate your time, Ashley. Folks, stay tuned for more videos. I'm sure we'll have Ashley back for additional information as we are continuing to think about what questions you have on that financial side of things and being small business owners. So we'll see you next time.